Hey, help support the show by joining the Patreon or becoming a YouTube member. Also, hit that like button to subscribe if you want more Cavs-focused content.
It's an interesting weekend, right, for Cavs fans, because we've been sitting here talking about the playoffs, how the Cavs are going to look in the playoffs for a very long time. So long that it makes you nervous, right? And then you hear people start bringing up stuff. Some people watch that Knicks Detroit game and they remember just how bad this team made us feel because of how they performed in the playoffs a couple of years ago. And they remember some recent no-shows from the Cleveland Cavaliers. And boy, I think a lot of people were afraid that this team would no-show in game one, that they would let a hustle hard, tough team and talented team like the Miami Heat, who aren't a weak 8 seed at all, compete with you more than they should be able to compete with you. But the Cavs pretty much had control of this game from the beginning. They came out really strong. The one time Miami made a little bit of a run, the Cavs answered it right back with the largest lead of the night. And then the Cavs kept them at a comfortable 8-point cushion for pretty much the rest of the game. I came into this playoffs wanting to see a couple of things from the Cleveland Cavaliers. One, want to see them close a series. We're not at that point yet. But another thing I wanted to see was I want to see the Cavs finish these games strong. And I think there was a lot of anxiety, at least in the live chat, about if the Cavs would be able to finish because they weren't really finishing the first, second, and third quarters very strongly. But in the NBA and in the playoffs, we know the only quarter that matters to close strongly is the fourth quarter. And that quarter, they finished strong as hell. Largely in thanks to Ty Jerome getting hot. But this game demonstrates why I think this team is just different than last year's team or the year before. Most of the time, when there's this much anticipation, this much energy, right? They mentioned it on the broadcast a ton, that the city was rocking. It was on fire for this Cavs team. They're super excited. And I think the people of Cleveland are very excited for this Cavaliers team. And in times like that before, I've seen this team shrink under that spotlight. Or you see them get too excited under that spotlight, right? Where they start running and they're not in their normal rhythm and they're just look out of sync. This game, they didn't look like that. This looked like a team that had been there before because they have been there before and that understood what needed to be done today, right? They played at their own pace. They played at their own rhythm. When something went wrong, they did not panic. Now, Miami is already in a tough spot. Give me 1 second. Because they are the 8 seed. They are playing the Cavs. The Cavs are a very talented and very well-coached team. So it wasn't like they were favored to win this series anyways. But if I were a Heat fan and I had any hope of trying to upset the Cavs in this series, I think this game would greatly concern you if you are a Miami Heat fan. The reason being is that two things coalesced today. The Miami Heat were shooting about 50% from the floor from three for most of this game. They are a 38% three-pointing team. And the Cavs were shooting well below their three-point average for most of this game. The Cavs didn't have a great three-point shooting night at all. And not only did you never really take control in this game, if you're Miami, the Cavs just needed a couple of threes to go down before this became a blowout. So if I'm Miami, I would be concerned, right? Cleveland plays as good as defense as anybody. It's another question that people have had about them. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But yeah, if I were a Miami fan watching this, I'd be like, damn, I'm a little bit concerned, to be honest, because you really had a lot going from three for most of this game. I mean, Davion gave you 18 off the bench, 2 for 3. You got 3 of 6 from Tyler. He didn't really do nothing in the second half. but you got more going from downtown than you usually do. And the Cavs had less going. I mean, this was a recipe for you to sneak one out if you're capable of it. And I was surprised that this didn't get more competitive than it did, given those were the factors. But the Cavs are a really talented team. It's going to be tough for Miami to win a game against them. I think that point was well demonstrated tonight for them. Look, you didn't get a great game from Evan Mobley, 9.7 rebounds. He'll play well. He'll play better later. You got a double-double from Jared Allen. But today, you got 27 from Darius, 10 of 17 from the floor, so an ultra-efficient outing from Darius Garland. He was 5 of 9 from 3, including 2 of the bye-bye threes at the end of the game. Donovan Mitchell got you 30. He was 11 of 19. And look, he made pretty much every 2-point shot he attempted because he was 2 of 9 from 3. He did not have a great 3-point shooting night. And that really helped you. And then off the Cavs bench, they didn't get anything from DeAndre Hunter. They got 6 from Sam Merrill. But it didn't matter because they got 28 from Ty Jerome. 10 of 15. Now, Ty Jerome might be the most predictable. That guy's going to be good in the playoffs guy that we've had to question about of all time. Because I remember people asking the question, hey, is this Ty Jerome thing going to last? Is Ty Jerome going to be able to do this in the playoffs? And I remember thinking, I don't know what it is about Ty, but something about him makes me feel like that's a stupid question. Like, Ty's definitely going to be able to do this. I don't know why it is that I have that reaction. It's just, I had a lot of confidence in Ty being able to perform in the playoffs. His game is pretty playoff friendly. So they were able to get 28 from Ty. He ends the game as the second highest scorer. Darius got 27. Donovan got you 30. And it demonstrates why the Cavs are such a hard team to beat. Because depending on how they're shooting, the Cavs can be a lot of different teams at once. I think a lot of people get lazy about this Cavs team and they think that the Cavs really only have one way to win. That's not true. I've seen this Cavs team this year win games against good teams with defense when their shots not dropping at all. I've seen this Cavs team decide that their three's not going down, so let's go in the paint against elite teams. They did that against the Boston Celtics, right? Multiple times against the Boston Celtics. And they beat the Boston Celtics multiple times with that. This is a team that can win with just outrageous role player performances. We've seen that a countless amount of times where, they beat Oklahoma City with strong role player performances. They could beat you with their bigs. They could beat you with their guards. They could beat you with their bench. They could beat you with defense. And that's what makes the Cavs dangerous. Today, the Miami Heat, they played the slot machine to see what the Cavs won't be able to do today, and it was 3-point shooting. They got lucky. The Cavs didn't really shoot that well from 3, and they shot really well from 3. Didn't matter. Also, I would like to point out the Cavs played excellent defense for 4 quarters, and this was a point of contention amongst a lot of Cavs fans because we were wondering, hey, is the lack of defensive effort at times because they can't do it or because they just don't have to do it? I think the more we watch them play in the playoffs, we'll lean towards they just turn it on and off whenever they need to. This is what this Cavs team is, right? I see a lot of people worried about if the Cavs were going to go on here. Shout out to Rex Fortune, who's in the chat right now. He mentioned it. Sam Merrill, really underrated defender. And it looks like Sam Merrill is going to be the 8th man on this rotation because Dean and Isaac were the low man on minutes. Yeah, Dean played 7. Isaac played 13. So it seems like Sam's going to be the 8th guy in that rotation. And he showed you why, right? He can get hot from 3 and be a threat. He's always going to be willing to shoot, so you always have to defend him. You can't just ignore him like they did a couple times to Isaac. And what Isaac brings is defense and tenacity. And Sam Merrill brings defense and tenacity in his own way that I think is very helpful. He was really good on defense in this game. Really good. And look, the thing with Evan Mobley, he could have a game where he shoots 9 points. He gets you 9 points. I thought he was really strong on defense. So didn't end up mattering that much, right? This Cavs team's really good. And, I don't know if Miami fans understood that before this game, but I think they definitely understand it now. DeAndre definitely didn't give you his strongest effort, but I'm confident that, when we need it, DeAndre is going to show up and make up for a bad game one. I'm sure he wants to as much as anybody. The Cavs are a really good basketball team. It's important to remember that. And I think this game was another reminder why, right? I know a lot of people in Cleveland have this worry that a Cleveland team can't be as good as we think they're going to be. But to be real with you, the Cavs are the one franchise that have kind of always had our back, right? Like when the Cavs are good, they're usually pretty good. And I think a lot of people are worried because we used to dealing with the Browns, but this ain't the Browns. It's the Cavs, and the Cavs deserve a lot of trust here, right? Like as much as things like felt shaky, the Cavs never relinquished more than an 8-point lead in this game. After the first half, that's a really good basketball team at work. I thought Kenny Atkinson did a good job, not just holding his own, but I felt like at times he outmaneuvered Eric Spoelstra. That's another thing you want to see in this series, right? Defensive effort, playoff effort, right? Execution. I thought it was impressive that the Cavs seemed like the team that wanted this game more than Miami, right? That's Miami's whole thing. Miami's whole identity, right? Heat culture, all of this is being the team that wants it more than you, especially in the playoffs, especially against a quote unquote inexperienced team like the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's Miami's whole identity. But if you watch that game, the Cavs were the ones making the effort plays. The Cavs were the ones hitting the deck. The Cavs were the ones getting strips and all of that stuff. So that tells you about the pregame prep that Kenny was putting these guys through, the mentality check that Donovan Mitchell has been instrumental with this team, of understanding this is the moment now, dog. Like, this is not fun and games anymore. If you lose in the playoffs this year, there's going to be real criticism for you for the rest of your career, right? So Donovan understands this moment. Donovan knows the kind of reward they can get as far as what they can accomplish, which I believe to be an NBA championship. And he knows what's at risk when something like that's on the table for a team. This is a team that understands the moment. And I think there was a lot of worry that this team wouldn't understand the moment, that Eric Spoelstra would outcoach Kenny Atkinson because he hasn't been there a ton before, that Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, they're going to stink under the light of being the 1 seed. But this game should help you get over those fears. Great game one from the Cavs. Loved how they finished the game. And I'm going to put this out here. I was a bit surprised how quickly Miami went to their bench once they went down in the fourth. I think they put their bench, like they started bringing all their bench guys, Jaquez and all these guys off their bench with like 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, down 20. Now, again, it's not very probable you're going to come back, but I thought that was quick to bring your bench on. That's something to think about going forward. But that's going to be it for this post-game video. Y'all have a great day. Have a better night. Peace.